And it's live. Sean Dyche is live on his channel. Go check it out. It's live. Sean Dyche. Let's go. United Everton, Goodison Park, Sunday evening. Let's go. Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you're all having a fantastic Thursday afternoon. Hope you had a good day so far. Hope you're all looking forward to the rest of it, and I hope you're all looking forward to another brand new weekend in November 2023 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to put the notification bell on as well, at all times to see dedicated content right throughout the last few weeks in 2023 on the channel, United Red Devils 20, where we've got more Rocket League, more EA Sports FC 24. We've got Fall Guys back on the channel as well. More F1 is back as well. More previews, more match reactions, and more brand new stuff planned for the last few weeks this year in 2023. And welcome to your Premier League preview. Premier League football has returned after, quite frankly, a pointless, and for me, what was the point of even having that 2-week international break with the fixtures that were in that international schedule? I mean, what was the point of having international football at all with the amount of fixture congestion this season so far? I mean, it's bloody mental, but Premier League football is back this weekend. Everton versus Manchester United at Goodison Park on Sunday evening on match day 13 of the 23-24 Premier League season. Everton and Manchester United, in which is going to be a very, very big game for Manchester United, which at the moment, we are the most informed side in the Premier League. At the moment, Manchester United are in form. We are the most consistent so far in our last few games, and the run we are on has put Manchester United, hopefully, on an upward step to rescue and turn this season around. And I think a game against Everton, who, have had a week from hell after being given their points deduction for breaking financial fair play. Everton now lie second bottom in the Premier League, only above Sheffield United on goal difference. So this, for me, is a bigger game for Everton more than for Manchester United, because Everton now find themselves in a very, very peculiar position where potential relegation from the Premier League is going to come true for Everton fans and supporters after, their 10-point deduction has basically screwed Everton's season. I think for me, there is no going back for Everton. Everton have broke the rules. They've been punished quite fairly. And I think for me, they are in the position they find themselves in. If the club was run properly, Everton would not find themselves second bottom in the Premier League due to very, very bad ownership from Missouri, who is running Everton Football Club like a school playground. Everton are in big, big trouble. They are facing an upward task of trying to keep their Premier League survival alive. They are in a peculiar position, only above Sheffield United on goal difference. And I think for me, Everton now know they have got to start turning this around. Otherwise, they are going to be relegated. I think Everton will still go down. Everton, I think, will be up for this game because they know the position they find themselves in is a bad one. They know relegation is a serious possibility now. And I think for me, if Everton were to lose this game this weekend, for me, it all but confirms Everton's relegation to the Championship. I don't think, for me, they've got the squad or the players to be able to rescue their Premier League survival. I think for me, the amount of sympathy I've seen from fans from rival clubs, sympathy from pundits on Sky Sports, TNT Sports, BBC Sport, Sky Sports News. I think for me, in my view, the sympathy Everton have been given is laughable. Like, it's absolutely ludicrous. Like, they broke the rules, they cheated and wanted to get away with breaking financial fair play. And the amount of sympathy where people have got out their small, tiny violins saying that Everton have been unfairly punished, their points deduction is unfair, and it's a ludicrous decision given that the financial reports that were given to the Premier League by Everton Football Club was fair, and they feel like they've been unfairly treated and unfairly punished for breaking rules. For me, if I was an Everton fan, I have got no sympathy for the football club or the ownership that run Everton. Like, it's their fault they find themselves in the position they are in. And I think for me, the only sympathy I've got is for those Everton fans and those Everton supporters. Everton Football Club really should not be in the bottom three. For me, they should not be fighting relegation with the history that apparently they've all got. And with the brand new state-of-the-art stadium they're building, which now looks like it's going to be massively under threat, what does the future lie for Everton Football Club as a whole? Because obviously Leicester, Burnley and Leeds are now putting in a 300 million appeal to the Premier League to punish Everton even further with a further -9 point deduction. Everton, if that was to happen, would end up being on -5 points, which means basically Everton are relegated. And I think for me, they deserve to be punished. Like, you broke the rules, you tried to get away with it, and you've been caught out. And you overspent, and you overspent by a bloody big margin. And unfortunately, you are in a position they're in. I think the players are going to be feeling it. I think for me, the squad's going to be feeling it. I think Sean Dyche knows that the task he's got now to keep Everton Football Club afloat for the rest of this Premier League season, he knows that he's got to try and turn Everton around and get them at that bottom three. I think for me, Everton have been for relegation for the last 3 to 4 years under Lampard, under Sean Dyche. For me, Everton will never really change because of the way that football club is run by ludicrous businessmen that basically don't give a shit about the Everton fans and the Everton supporters. They are basically in the same shit that Man United are in. They've got owners that don't give a fuck about the club. They are letting the club rot. And basically, they are letting the Everton Football Club being run like a bloody circus. And it is embarrassing from an Everton fan point of view. And I feel sorry for all of you. Like, Everton, are a historic club. They are a club that has won things. They are a club that has reached finals. They are a club that has reached Champions League football. They are a club that's reached Europa League football. And I think for me, at the end of the day, Everton's history is going to be defined by Sunday. I think if they were to lose against Manchester United on Sunday, for me, this is Everton done. I can't see Everton beating Manchester United on Sunday at Goodison Park. We beat them there last season, where we had Ronaldo to thank to help us win that game. And I think for me, we are going to need that kind of miracle again, away at Goodison Park, which is always a great atmosphere for Everton fans and Everton supporters, that they get right behind those players and that squad. And I think Sean Dyche, he's done it before with Burnley. He's kept them up in the Premier League, and he's done it with a very depleted squad, and a squad that doesn't really have the quality in it to be able to keep a club like Everton afloat in the Premier League, or owners getting rid of their best players because that's what they said they'd do. Exactly. And I think this is why Everton have really struggled. Like, I look at that Everton team, there's at least 3 or 4 quality players. And I look at the rest of the team where you've got an injury-prone Calvert-Lewin, you've got an injury-prone Seamus Coleman. And I think for me, this is why Everton are in the shit they're in, because they've lost their best players. They've got players like Damari Gray that no longer want to be at the club, who they are basically having to use because they've got no other players at their disposal to put in that Everton starting lineup to get anything from. And I think for me, this is why Everton are in the mess they're in. They can't rely on the players they've got. I think for me, if I'm going to be pinpointing it from an actual real point of view, I think for me, Everton's 4 best players by a mile is probably Dwight McNeil, I think Damari Gray, I think Doucouré, and I think Onana. I think for me, they're probably Everton's 4 best players that could cause Manchester United problems. There is quality in all 4 of them. Doucouré and Onana are basically running Everton's season, if we're all being really honest. And I think for me, in my view, Everton are massively overhyped. They are a massively overrated club. And I think for me, those players aren't no good as a championship team. Like, if they do go down and they do get relegated, which I think is going to happen now due to their points deduction, I think Everton could go down again, because I don't think the players they're going to have now will be competing for Everton in the championship. Everton have been flirting with relegation for the last 3 or 4 years. And now this season, they've been punished. And people saying, well, it's not their fault. Well, it is their fault, because they broke financial fair play. And there's people out there like Jamie Carragher, like, wishing that Everton didn't get a points deduction. A Liverpool reject that didn't ever win a Premier League title is basically heaping sympathy on Everton for breaking the rules. Like, I'm sorry, but if a club breaks the rules like Everton, and they think it's fair to keep doing it, I don't see how that's a fair point of view, because Everton are not a stable club anymore. They are a really, really bad run football club. And unfortunately, the mess and the debt that club's in is unbelievable. And with the rumours of yesterday evening, which is very, very true, that Everton might have to sell their best players now in January just to keep them afloat, is a very, very worrying time for the Premier League. Because if we were ever to lose a club like Everton through administration or even worse, liquidation, it would destroy English football, because Everton have always been a very, very stable Premier League club. And I think for me, where this has all gone wrong is the departure of David Moyes to Manchester United when Sir Alex Ferguson retired. And I think for me, every manager they've had has come and failed. Roberto Martinez, Rafael Benitez, Ronald Koeman, Frank Lampard, and now Sean Dyche. Like, the problem is with Everton, they don't know what manager to go with. Every other manager has a different set of ideas that they're trying to get across the squad to play the type of football they're looking for. And they go and spend ridiculous amount of money on so many positions at the number 9 position that the Everton team have had way too many options before with a bloated squad. And unfortunately, Everton now look at it thinking, we've spent all that money and look where it's now put us. We are in a really shit position, and we are basically competing now with Burnley, Luton and Sheffield United to stay in this division. Everton are going to go down. They're going to get relegated. I cannot see them staying up. I called at the start of this season. I said Everton will go down. And if they go down, they deserve it, because they broke the rules and they tried to get away with it and tried to fiddle their numbers. And Everton Football Club are in the mess they're in because of those owners. And unfortunately, when you sell your best players and you don't replace those players, Everton will find themselves in this shit they're in. The football they're playing has been atrocious. Their style of play is very, very boring. And basically, Sean Dyche's tactics are not working at Everton. The football they're playing is shocking. Like, I'm not being funny. You can't even beat Luton at home. So clearly, there was problems from that Luton game when they lost 2-1 at Goodison Park and Luton got their first ever Premier League win in this division. Was there not the warning signs there that Everton were basically in a situation where this is going to start getting desperate? And it is going to get extremely desperate now. Everton know if they don't win this game and everyone around them wins at the weekend, including Luton and Bournemouth, Sheffield United and Burnley, they're all going to be rubbing their hands together thinking, right, do you know what? Everton have got this points deduction. There's an appeal going in from Burnley, Leicester and Leeds to get Everton a further 9 points deduction. I think if Everton do get that 9-point deduction, they're going to be rock bottom of the Premier League on -5 points. I think players like Onana is going to look at it, and Doucouré, Dwight McNeil, Tamari Gray. They're going to look at this situation and they're going to look at the quality Everton don't have, and they're going to look at the situation this fucking football club's in. And they're going to look at it from a big point of view, right? What's bigger here? My career, or trying to keep basically a confirmed relegated team to try and save this Premier League season? Because if Everton do get a points deduction, they're on -5 points. They're not going to survive. They're going to go and they're going to get relegated. And I think for me, if they do get relegated, will they be good? Will they be too good for the Championship? No. I don't think they can compete in the Championship. I think they would struggle. I really think they will. I think they could do an Aston Villa. I remember when Villa got relegated, it took them nearly 2 to 3 years to come back up to the Prem. It took them so long to regain their spot as a Premier League club. It took them so long. And I think Everton are going to go down the same direction. I think Sean Dyche's Everton could come up to the Prem again. I think Everton could, for me, they could get relegated again. If they play the football they've been playing and they have a points deduction again in the Championship, they're not going to get out of that situation they're in. They're going to be screwed again. And I think, everyone in Everton Football Club are going to look at the situation and are thinking, right, we've got to turn this around now. And that starts with Manchester United. But from a Man United point of view and myself, I think we know we've got to win this game because we are the most informed team in the league. We know that we have to keep on winning to chase down dot 4. There are some very big fixtures in the league. You've got Newcastle, Chelsea this weekend, Man City, Liverpool. We've got Everton away. I'm not saying this is going to be an away banker, especially with, the injury problems we've got with Rasmus Højlund. Onana might not be fit, and Luke Shaw, has only come back into training yesterday. I'm not saying Manchester United are going to go to Goodison and dominate and win the game. But the problem is, Everton every player now is for themselves now, because they know this is make or break for their careers. Because if Everton get their points deduction and further 9 points, it's going to be a critical situation where Everton now are going to have to face the truth that you're no longer going to be a Premier League club next season. And that's going to hurt Everton fans. That's going to hurt the supporters. And I don't know what's going to do to their new stadium they're trying to build. Like, I called it from day one. Like, as soon as the season started, I knew Everton were going to go, because I had that gut feeling something was going to happen. I don't think they'll turn this around. I can't see them beating Manchester United. And I think for me, it's going to be a very comfortable afternoon at Goodison. But Man United always seem to make it a lot harder for themselves to try and go there and win. Like, we only scraped past them last season. We only scraped by with thanks to Ronaldo. And Ronaldo's no longer at this club. We could have done with that striker for this weekend, because with the doubts surrounding Rasmus Højlund's fitness this weekend, it's a clear worry, because you haven't got really another backup striker to really deploy down the middle, because Rasmus is your number one guy that is putting the ball in the net. It may be not in the league, but at least he's scoring goals in the Champions League and trying to save Man United from going back into the Europa League demise. But if he's not fit this weekend, I mean, I think that's a disaster from a United fan point of view, because you're wondering where the goals are going to come from. You're wondering how are Man United going to win this game with the players we've got and the players we haven't got. Like, United are in a crisis through injuries. Like, this is the worst situation that I've ever found United to be in. Like, the injuries are not helping us. The amount of football we are having to play, not just in the Champions League, but the Carabao Cup, which we got knocked out of. We've got Premier League. We've got FA Cup coming up in December, January. And then you've got the pointless international breaks that mean absolutely fuck all. Like, at the end of the day, United have got to find a way by getting half this squad fit. And I don't know why the squad is unfit. I don't know why we've picked up so many injuries. But there's a clear indication that this squad, and the rumours again on Monday or Tuesday, was that these players feel like they've been overworked. They've been overtrained by Ten Hag. He's pushed them right over the limit. And at the end of the day, like, I'm sorry, but if these players, again, are turning on the manager, watch them turn it on the manager on the result of the weekend, because, we're too tired. He's overworked us. At the end of the day, I think these players expect to get by with shit training sessions. I think these players expect to be left off the hook. At the end of the day, how can you blame Ten Hag? He's got serious credentials of being United's best manager since Sir Alex Ferguson, in my view. And the players are moaning he's overworking us. Pre-season, he pushed us to the limit. At the end of the day, do you want to be at this football club or not? Because at the end of the day, if these players are blaming the manager for their failings this season, we know which players are doing it, and we clearly know that the problems are in that squad again. They've gone back into their shell. They've gone back to being individual FC, and they've gone back to being a big ego over the club, and they think they're better than everyone else, and they think they're bigger than the manager. At the end of the day, no one is bigger at this club. None of them. Not the manager, not the players. What makes this club is the fans and supporters of Manchester United. At the end of the day, if these players are not putting the graft in that Ten Hag's wanting, can I see us being an away result and a win? I don't know. I'm unsure, because it clearly shows that these players, for me, again, are thinking, well, at the end of the day, it's only Everton. We don't really have to push ourselves to the limit. We know we can win this. We may play shit. We may not go for it and the full jugular. But at the end of the day, we'll find a way to win. I'm sorry. Like, Everton are in a bad situation. United need to fucking go for it. And you need to hammer them. Like, I want to see a team that, can play world-class football. And that is what I'm crying out for. That is what I'm really, really crying out for at Manchester United. I am crying out for a world-class performance at Manchester United, and I'm not getting that from these set of players. And that, for me, is the big, big problem I'm finding at this football club. I just don't think, at the moment, it's acceptable. I really, really do not find Man United are putting in the graft. They're not putting in the work. They're not putting in the commitment. They're not putting in the desire that this football club needs. And this is why Man United find themselves way off top four, because these players don't give a fuck. And I want to win Sunday. Like, if we win Sunday, and you've got Man City playing Liverpool, you've got Newcastle playing Chelsea. Like, at the end of the day, there's a huge opportunity for Man United to find themselves by the end of this weekend in a position where we can start finding ourselves challenging again, because Spurs are slipping up. Villa might slip up. Man City and Liverpool, there's going to be a slip there. Like Chelsea away to Newcastle, that ain't going to be an easy game. That's going to be a hard game for Chelsea to go to St James's Park and win. So there's a huge opportunity for Man United to really start challenging themselves and getting themselves in connection to turn this Premier League season around. And I think, for me, it starts from this weekend. If we can beat Everton, I really still think we can get top four. I know people saying, well, it ain't going to happen, not with the situation Man United are in. It ain't going to happen. We ain't going to get top four, not going to get Champions League football. And I said that myself. Hold my hands up to that. But at the end of the day, I expect Man United to beat teams like Everton. I do expect Man United to win convincingly. Everton are not that great. The players they've got are bang average Championship players at best. There is no quality in that Everton team except 3 to 4 players. And if you take those players out of Everton, Everton are screwed. Like, if you take Doucouré, Onana, Damari Gray, Dwight McNeil out that Everton team and you put them in a Man United team, we would absolutely smash them. We would. This would be a very, very convincing away win. But if you're looking at it from the last few Premier League performances, where Man United have had to scrape past Sheffield United and Brentford and Luton, is anyone surprised that this might be a scrappy win again? Like, we only beat Luton 1-0, by the way. A massive credit to Luton. Like, they played fantastic. Like, Rob Edwards is doing a fantastic job at Luton Football Club. It's amazing to see them doing so well in the Premier League. Everyone doubted them. Everyone said they're not going to stay up. They're fighting relegation. They ain't got a chance of being in the Premier again next season. I'm going to love sitting here at the end of the season, seeing a lot of people eat humble pie, where Luton Town secure Premier League safety. I don't want to see a 2.0 Luton performance away at Everton on Sunday, because otherwise we are going to find ourselves losing this game. Like, Luton did have their chances at Old Trafford to find the back of the net, and they didn't do it. And I think, for me, this is why Manchester United need to win this game, and it does need to be a convincing performance where we absolutely go for it. And I'm hoping that is what we do, by the way. I'm hoping we will see a very, very good performance from these set of players. But at the moment, like, it worries me about the Rasmus Højlund situation. Like, how bad is that hamstring injury? Because obviously he came off against Luton and he felt his hamstring go. And I thought to myself, oh, shit. And again, it's another situation where United haven't got the resources. Like, they haven't got the players. They haven't got the squad. And they basically don't have the depth at the moment to be able to keep playing the amount of football we're playing. Like, the injuries are no excuses. United should be winning every game. That's what you do at Manchester United. But at the moment, I'm feeling that the Rasmus Højlund injury is going to really cost us Sunday, because I look at the team, I look at the side we are, I look at the lack of goals. Can we really trust Martial to be starting down the middle with his injury record? I mean, do we put Rashford down the middle with Garnacho on the left? Does Sancho come back in and he apologises to Ten Hag and the Man United squad and the rest of the players? I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I think, for me, I think it's make or break Sunday. I really, really do think at the moment this game is make or break. Because if we don't have Rasmus available and we are playing Martial and Rashford, it worries me. Because I know at the moment, like, if this is either game 18 or game 19 of this Premier League season. No, game 18 or game 19 of the season for Man United as a whole, and Rashford doesn't find the back of the net and Martial doesn't find it either, you do wonder what's going to happen to the rest of this season. And that, for me, scares me because the team is lacking goals. It's lacking quality. We're lacking an end product. And I think this is why United are a lack of goals. It's simple as that, really. Let's not beat around the bush about it. We haven't got the squad. We haven't got the quality we need off the bench. We are basically putting the pressure on a 20-year-old striker to score Man United's goals for the rest of this campaign. And for me, when you've got Højlund available, we are a better team. His hold-up play is magnificent, and he can hold the ball up in front of the defensive back four of the opposition. But when you haven't got him, you are then stuck with an inconsistent Marcus Rashford, an injury-prone Martial. And when you've got no Sancho, Antony out of form as well, Pellistri is also injured for this weekend, so that's another blow. And I think, again, let's talk about Pellistri. Again, there has been so much hype about Pellistri over the international break. Look how great he did for Uruguay. He got an assist for Darwin Núñez's goal. Whoop-de-doo. At the end of the day, I'm sorry, Pellistri ain't good enough. I'm sorry, he's not fucking good enough. I'm not having this debate any longer. He is bait. For me, he is an average Leicester City player at best. I'm really sorry, but he's average at best. He's the hype around him is unjustified. Just because he gets one assist on the international break and everyone hypes him on the hype train, I mean, you might as well jump on Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle on the island of Sodor and get on that hype train, because Pellistri is no better than Ahmad. I could have done with Ahmad being back. I mean, that's another weird one. Ahmad has been back in training for 3 to 4 weeks. And again, is nowhere near the first team. So clearly he's not fit. So you've got no Pellistri, you've got no Ahmad. So you are basically on the right wing. You are stuck with Antony, especially when he's not in form, especially when everything surrounding his private life isn't helping. And also the allegations he's facing. He's basically got himself in the same situation as a certain player at Getafe who's out on loan there. And I'm not mentioning his name because I can't stand him. He shouldn't have, his contract should have been terminated, and he is still contracted to this club. But he's been sent out on loan to prove a point, so everyone can calm down over him. I'm sorry, but United have got the worst front three in English football. I'm really sorry. We have. Except for Rasmus. Without Rasmus in this team, I think United are going to struggle to find goals. And it will happen Sunday. If he is not in that team Sunday, and he's not even on the bench, we're basically fucked, because you're not going to be able to trust Rashford. Martial can't be trusted either. And I think Ten Hag's looking at this now thinking, fucking hell, if I've basically got no backup striker, my best striker by a mile is unfit and is injured, and I'm basically left with Martial to do the job. And he basically knows he can't. And Ten Hag knows that. Ten Hag isn't stupid. He evaluates this squad and he looks at it thinking, what a shit team. What a shit squad. And it is. It is a very, very shit Manchester United team. There is a lack of quality. And I think for me, if we do lose Sunday, United are going to have to go into January and they're going to have to spend some money. And people say, oh, United can't spend money. Financial fair play still a concern. They're going to have to sell to buy. And this is what is still angering me about this fan base and about certain supporters in certain United fan groups, that they believe all this financial fair play and all this sell to buy crap is an issue. It is the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard as a Man United fan in all my life. United are struggling for money. It's a load of bullshit to cover up the cracks, cover up the mess this football club is fucking in. United can't spend money. They're going to have to do cheap loan deals. United are about to get taken over by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I don't want him anywhere near this club. He's basically just another Glazer. But if he comes in, he's going to have to spend some money. And he's going to have to inject 200 to 300 million. Because that is what this squad needs in January. And they're going to have to do it. If they have to break the rules, fucking do it. But at the end of the day, what would I rather do? See this club struggle or see this club win? United have got money and people still believe the lies. They still believe the bullshit. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not stupid. Like, you can't keep believing United's lies. They are making up lies to cover up their mess, to cover up their incompetence, and people believe the bullshit. I'm sorry. If I look at that United team, like, we might not even have our number one goalkeeper available. I mean, Onana was bought in for 60 million and might not even be available for Sunday because he picked up a bloody injury playing for his bloody country in the international break. Another injury. So that's not going to help us. So that could be Onana and Højlund, but potentially United's two key players at the moment out that squad. And are you really going to trust a Turkish goalkeeper in Bandia to do the job at Goodison Park when he's not kicked a single ball for United at the moment? Like, that's the questions I've got. Can you really trust him to keep a clean sheet? Can you really trust him to do a job for Ten Hag at the weekend? There's a lot more questions than answers at this weekend that is going to be pivotal. Like, if you haven't got Onana and you haven't got Højlund, I think United are in big trouble. I'm sorry. I don't see them keeping the clean sheet. I can't see them scoring any goals because United have lost their two key players that are keeping this team's alive. Like, without that Onana penalty save in the Champions League at FC Copenhagen at Old Trafford, that game finishes as a draw. Without Højlund's goals against Copenhagen in the away game, we wouldn't have led that game 2-0. So at the end of the day, United are causing their own downfall by not giving the quality Ten Hag's looking for. And I think, like I said, there is money to spend. Don't believe the lies, don't believe the bullshit, and call it out for what it is. United's incompetence is still running this joint. And United have got to win this game. Lose this game, forget it. Forget rebuilding this season because you scraped by Luton and it wasn't pretty. It was shocking from a United fan point of view that how many chances did we have to score? We don't have the quality to finish the job. And this is why we're in a Champions League position where we could be knocked back into Europa League. This is why Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal and Aston Villa are running away from us because we can't compete. And you wonder why United are so shit. All you got to do is look at that first team and look at the lack of quality and then come back and we'll have a conversation because at the end of the day, United need to be doing better. We need to be finding the net. We need to be playing better football and we need to be going for it. We need to be more ruthless when we're on the ball. We need to be creating chances every single fucking minute. We need to dominate the ball. We need to control the midfield. We need to dominate possession. We need to stop letting the opposition onto us and letting them counter-attack us because this is where United fall. You let the opposition counter-attack Man United and Man United are screwed because I've seen it on so many occasions. United, whenever they counter-attacks on United fall down like a pack of sardines. Honestly, United crumble and it's embarrassing. Like, this should be an easy win. This should be, we are going to win this game and it's going to be comfortable as hell. I'm not saying it's going to be. I honestly think Everton are going to give us a game because they know they've got to save themselves now. And at the end of the day, I think United have got to get the job done. Yeah, the injuries are not helping us. Yes, we may not have Onana and Højlund and Casemiro. And we won't have Eriksen either. Like, that's Højlund, Casemiro, Eriksen and Onana. We also don't have Johnny Evans. We don't have Malacia. We don't have Martinez. We don't have Ahmad. That is 8 players already we may not have available for Sunday. That's a big, big problem. That's nearly a starting 11. And I think for me, United are trying to spend a positive again on their socials. Look, Luke Shaw's back in training. He's back fit. He's back in the squad. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Give it another week and he'll be injured again. I've seen it all before. And yes, those 8 players I mentioned, add Luke Shaw to that list in a week because he'll pick up another injury and he'll be out for 3 or 4 months again. United are not, I'm not stupid. I've seen this mess all before. And look at every manager we've had that has had all that mess. All of them have been sacked. So no wonder we are in the mess we're in. We haven't got the players. We need Onana available. We need Højlund. We need Casemiro. We need Eriksen. Like, they're at the moment United's 4 key starting players. And if you haven't got Casemiro and you ain't got Eriksen, I dread what that midfield's going to be on Sunday, because Bruno will obviously start. Fernandes will start in this game at the weekend. And I'll tell you what will happen also. Well, we ain't got Eriksen available. We ain't got Casemiro. Let's put Mount in. I mean, watch that be a disaster waiting to happen. That Mason Mount is given yet another opportunity to prove himself that he's been a complete and utter waste of a signing. Like, at the end of the day, if Mason Mount starts any more against United and it's the same old shit performance after shit performance, I'm sorry, I'm looking at January, sell him. I'm looking at next summer, sell him. I don't want this inconsistent shit at this club playing shit. Like, I know Eriksen's a lot better footballer than Mason Mount. I've seen the quality from last season. Eriksen's miles a better footballer than Mason Mount. He's more talented. He's more creative with the ball. He doesn't lose possession. Mason Mount is, I make stupid 50-yard runs and then I lose the ball, I lose possession, and then they counter-attack us. Like, Mount will be given an opportunity to play now. That worries me, because I know Mason Mount at the moment is shit. Like, I'm sorry, people say you can't call players shit. I can do what the fuck I want. At the end of the day, this is about fan view. This is about fan opinion. This is about what is best for this club. And Mason Mount is not part of it, I'm afraid. Like, I think Amrabat has done a better job than Mason Mount since he's come here. I think Amrabat is technically a better gifted footballer. And he's actually won stuff in his career. What's Mason Mount done? Oh, I've won the Champions League once with Chelsea. And then a year after, Thomas Tuchel was sacked. So at the end of the day, you know, Mount will probably play Sunday. And that will frustrate me, because I don't think he's good enough. So, but I think that's the only option we've got. But it wouldn't surprise me again if McTominay starts, because McTominay's done so well for Scotland on the international break. Scott McTominay scored again. Oh, look at McTominay. Oh, my God. Shut the fuck up about the McTominay hype. He's crap as well. And there's people who do career modes that keep McTominay in their team when he's completely shit. Like, it makes me laugh. Like, McTominay is no better than me. I'm better than Scott McTominay. I've actually won more in my career playing at the top level of football than what McTominay's ever done in his lifetime. So don't judge me on McTominay. I'm miles above McTominay's level. I would do a better job in that midfield. I've won stuff in my career. Like, at the end of the day, I'm a better footballer than McTominay. I can score goals. I can put the ball in the back of the net. What does McTominay do? Do these stupid little rabbit pivot turns on the ball and makes him do the Anthony spin. Like, I'm sorry. If we're having to start midfield, McTominay ain't part of my plan Sunday. Not a bloody chance. I want McTominay in that Man United midfield free. No thanks. Not against a high-pressing Everton midfield into Corey and Onana, because I know which way that will end. But if McTominay plays, that's probably down to manager's choice. So I think for me, I would go Amrabat, Fernandes, and probably Mount. I know I don't want Mount in that team, but if I have to, I'm going to have to go with it. I think the back four, again, the Maguire hype again. He's so solid for England. He's done such a good job. Look at him against Malta. And then he played shit against North Macedonia. And he was at fault for the first goal. And Man United trust Maguire to do a job over Varane. I mean, Varane's won a World Cup. He's won the Champions League. What's Maguire done? Oh, I got promoted with Hull to the Premier League. I got promoted with Hull. And then I went to Leicester. And then I got sold for 80 million to United. I'm the most expensive centre-back of all time. Yeah, great. That really helps everyone, doesn't it? So I think for me, Varane comes back in. There's no question about it that Varane has to play Sunday. I don't want Harry Maguire in this team. He's absolutely awful. For England, oh, he's so solid. I mean, even Dion Dublin, who was on commentary for the England game Monday night. Maguire is so solid. He doesn't make a mistake for England, but yet he was at fault for the first goal. So make that make any sense? So at the end of the day, I think for me, if I'm picking a centre-back partnership, it has to be unfortunately, Lindelof, who I don't rate either, even though he got the winning goal against Luton, which has massively hyped him up again, I would go Lindelof and Varane because I think for me that's a more trusted partnership, but it doesn't work in both terms of both being right-footed centre-back. So that is what I would do. For me, I wouldn't be putting Luke Shaw back in, even though, oh, look, he's back in training now. Oh, my God, he'll be injured a week later. We've seen this all before. So I think for me, Reguilon keeps his place. I think for me, Reguilon is 10 times a better left-back than Luke Shaw. Reguilon has done more in his United stint than what Luke Shaw's done in his whole United career. I'm sorry, but it's true. Mourinho called it out. He's crap. And it's true. That even Van Gaal said he will never be the same player again after that leg break. And it got proved a point. Look how many injuries since then he's had. It's true. Like, Reguilon should be starting more games for United than Luke Shaw. And I think he will start again Sunday. And I think at right back, if we're having to pick anybody, it should be Wan-Bissaka. Even though, for me, I don't rate Wan-Bissaka or Diego Dalot either. I'd rather have Wan-Bissaka at right back playing than Diego Dalot because I think Wan-Bissaka's defensive ability and work rate is a lot more better than Dalot's. But you put Wan-Bissaka at right back, he can't put the ball in the box. He can't put a ball cross in. And he just cuts back onside into his left foot and passes it back. So that's another problem in United. We haven't got a right back that can put the ball in the box and put dangerous crosses in to cause the Everton back four problems. So for me, I think Wan-Bissaka over anybody. And I think the front three, well, if you haven't got Højlund available, do we risk putting Garnacho on the left when heavily overrated? Do we put Rashford down the middle when we know it doesn't work? Or do we put Antony on the right when he's massively out of form, massively inconsistent, and doesn't even get called up by the Brazilian national team anymore? So United have got themselves in a position where this front three is just absolutely diabolically shit. And I think this is why we're struggling to score goals, because the front three is changing week in, week out. I think if Sancho was available and he apologised to Ten Hag and he apologises to everybody, the fans, the supporters, the squad, the players, I think Sancho would be in the team. Personally, I think Sancho is a better footballer than Marcus Rashford. I think Sancho is a better footballer than Garnacho. And I think for me, Sancho is better than Antony. And obviously Pellistri and Ahmad. But with Sancho throwing his toys out the pram like a little overgrown 5-year-old baby, and he's sat on YouTube streaming EA Sports and FIFA, it shows there is a lack of commitment, there's a lack of desire, and there's a lack of understanding or care toward Man United, the employees, the staff, the coaches, the manager, the squad, the players, the fans, supporters. Like, if you have to sell him in January, please just don't loan him. Just sell him permanently and just get fucking rid. Because that is what called ruthlessness. That is what ruthlessness is all about. You get rid of the deadwood crap. Solskjaer should have realised the problems at Dortmund, and he didn't realise that the problems Dortmund were having was down to Jadon Sancho's 5-year-old ego baby self, throwing his toys out the pram, being better than the manager, bigger than the manager, turning up training for late on several different occasions, showing a lack of commitment or desire in training. Sancho needs to be get rid of. Sancho has been one of our worst signings in history. I'm sorry, but he has. Everyone thought he would do well when he came here. Even me. Again, hold my hands up. I thought he would do what he did at Dortmund for us, and he hasn't done it. And am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. We're a shit show. But I think for me, if we had him available, I think he would start Sunday. But United, it is what it is. And I'm hoping we win with the front three we go with. So for me, Onana, I think Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lindelof, Reguilon. Obviously, the known in midfield will be Amrabat, Fernandes, and Mount. And then the front three, if Højlund ain't fit, I think we'll go Garnacho, Rashford, and Antony. Because we ain't got no Pellistri. Ahmad ain't back ready to play yet. So that is what I think the team will be. What do I think the scoreline is going to be? I'm going to go for 2 or 3-0 United. That's going to be my score prediction. I hope I'm right. I hope United keep this winning Premier League run up. And I hope we can keep this consistency up as well. Because after that, we've got big Champions League games coming up against Galatasaray. And then after that, it's a Newcastle and then Chelsea. So it's going to be a very big month for United. And then we've also got Liverpool in December as well. So it's going to be a tricky month for United. So we need to keep picking these points up. We need to keep winning. And this Premier League unbeaten run we've gone on, we need to keep that up as well. I'm not guaranteeing anything with United because we know Man United are not always as simple as what we think it is. But let's hope we win and let's hope it's 3 points. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. Then hit the like button, the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, and remember to always put notification bell on at all times so you receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of these last few weeks in 2023 on United Red Devils 20. Obviously, you've got more F1 back on the channel now, 2-player career, single-player career, Sergio Perez career mode. We've got more Fall Guys Season 4, creative construction Fall Guys is back as well. We've also got more EA Sports FC24, more previews, more match reactions, and obviously, please join me for the reaction Sunday evening, which hopefully is United win. Hopefully it's 3 points, and hopefully we put in a good performance against Everton. But it wouldn't surprise me if we see another scrappy Luton 1-0 win, because this is what Man United seem to do at the moment. So let's see what happens. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll speak to you guys Sunday evening, and I'll see you on the next one.